Dear friends, today we are going to discuss about the SAP Material Management Module, and in this video we are going to discuss about what is the purpose of learning SAP Material Management Module and how this SAP Material Management Module will help the industry in what are all the ways this SAP MM module will be suitable for the industry, and more informations about SAP MM module we are going to discuss about in this video. So in our today's session we are going to discuss very clearly about what is the reason for learning this SAP MM module and what is the reason for all the companies to implement SAP Material Management Module for their businesses, and furthermore informations we will discuss. Now we will start discussing one by one what is the advantages of learning this SAP Material Management Module and why we have to learn this SAP Material Management Module. What are all the main focus of learning this Material Management Module, and what are all the major advantages after implementing this Material Management Module for the industries. So we have to discuss about all the different steps in this video. The first and foremost important reason why to learn this SAP Material Management Module is that this SAP Material Management Module supports the end-to-end procurement and inventory management functions which is taking place in the day-to-day business operations. That means we are having different procurement activities in our company. We are having different inventory management activities. That means starting from procurement, we will discuss what is the general procurement cycle. Generally the procurement cycle starts with purchase requisition, followed by request for quotation from different vendors, followed by maintaining different quotations in the system for our internal purpose, and the next one is followed by price comparison list, and based on the best price and based on the best quotation collected from different vendors, then we have to go for purchase orders. So this is the procurement cycle. And once again, if we comes to the inventory management functions, there are many inventory management functions in SAP Material Management, namely goods issue, goods receipt, stock transfer, and other important functions also under inventory management. So in order to implement this end-to-end procurement and inventory management functions in our industry, this material management module is very useful for implementing the entire end-to-end procurement and inventory management functions based on the client's requirement. And the second important point why we have to learn this material management module is that this SAP MM module contains various important other business modules like purchasing, inventory management, subcontracting processes, materials requirement planning, and different approval methods for both purchase orders and purchase requisitions. Once again, this SAP MM module is a very powerful tool for all the industries in providing the end-to-end purchasing activities, that is purchasing functions. We have already discussed about this purchasing functions. Say for example, it starts with purchase requisition and then request for quotation and then maintain quotations and then price comparison list, followed by creating the purchase orders based on the best quotations delivered by different vendors. And also this SAP MM module handles this inventory management activities very efficiently. There are many inventory management activities to be handled in the real-time industry using this SAP MM module. Let us discuss about this inventory management activities of SAP MM module. There are many inventory management activities to be carried out in the SAP MM module. Say for example, we have goods receipt, goods issue, stock transfer from plant to plant, and then we have storage location transfers, and we have two different stock transfer processes like stock transfer from plant to plant, one step, stock transfer from plant to plant, two step, and similarly we have stock transport orders. These are all the inventory management activities to be carried out in the SAP MM module. That is also one of the reasons why we have to learn this SAP material management module. And also one more important activities of SAP MM module is that subcontracting processes. Subcontracting processes means in general it is a third party vendors. So the company will be sending the raw material to one party, that is the primary vendors. Then the primary vendors will be sending the raw material to the to the next vendors, that is the third party vendors. So these concepts are also very important from the material management point of view. That is also one of the reason why we have to go for this SAP material management module implementation. And the next important activity is materials requirement planning. So even though this materials requirements planning is coming under SAP production planning module, here we need to understand very clearly why this material requirements planning is initiated and why it is mandatory for implementing this MRP in our MM module. And also one more important activity in material management module is that different approval methods for purchase order and purchase requisitions. So we are calling it as release strategy procedures. So release strategy means it consists of different approval methods for approving the purchase orders and purchase requisitions based on the scenarios. And one more advantages of learning this MM module, or why we have to learn this MM module, is that the SAP MM module provides complete end-to-end inventory management activities as we have already discussed, namely goods receipt, goods issue, stock transfer, usage of movement types for various inventory management activities. That means in the entire SAP material management inventory management activities, we have to use the movement types. SAP has provided the predefined movement types for each and every inventory management activities which has to be carried out in SAP material management module. And also this SAP MM module provides the end-to-end pricing configuration. So that is also one of the reasons why we have to learn this SAP material management. In other words, why all the companies are implementing the SAP material management module for their businesses. And one more important functionality is vendor evaluation. Vendor evaluation means we are evaluating the vendors. The purchasing department will be evaluating the vendors, from which vendor we have to procure the materials and from what is the criteria for the vendor evaluation. So these are all one of the very important activity in material management module to be carried out in the real-time industry. And also valuation of materials. Valuation of materials is also one of the very important activity of SAP material management module. This is why, because there are many different valuation prices of the materials. Whenever the material is procured internally, then the price of the material will be different. And similarly, whenever the material has been procured externally, then the price of the material will be different. Ultimately, the material is same, but we have to maintain two different prices of the materials. So that is also one of the very important activity to be carried out in SAP material management module. Valuation of materials means we are evaluating the material based on two different criteria or even three different criteria. One is whenever the material is procured internally, then the price of the material is different. Similarly, if the material is procured externally, then the price of the material is different. And if we are going for both the procurements like internal and external procurement, then the material price will be different. So this is one of the very important activity to be carried out in the material management model. And also one more important activity to be carried out in SAP material management model is that this SAP material management model should be strongly integrated with SAP sales and distribution module, SAP production planning module, SAP finance module, as well as SAP CO module. So in this video, we have clearly discussed about why to learn this SAP material management model and how this material management model will be going to will be helpful for the industries in order to handle the entire material management activities, as we have already discussed in this video about many different material management activities. Say for example, we have discussed about procurement, we have discussed about inventory management, we have discussed about the pricing, we have discussed about vendor evaluation, and we have discussed about the valuation of materials, and also we have discussed about integration of SAP MM with other SAP modules. So that is also one of the reason why all the companies are implementing this SAP material management for their businesses. And without material management module, it is very difficult to handle the entire procurement activities. It is very difficult to handle the entire inventory management activities. It is very difficult to handle the entire pricing, entire vendor evaluation, and very difficult to handle the stock transfer and other inventory management activities. So I think in this video we have very clearly discussed about why to learn this material management module and what is the advantages from the company point of view as well as from the consultant point of view. So we have to implement each and everything in the real-time environment using this complete SAP MM module. For that, we have to be very strong in the entire end-to-end procurement activities. We have to be very strong in entire end-to-end inventory management activities. We have to be very strong in handling the end-to-end MM pricing, and we have to be very strong in handling the end-to-end vendor evaluation and also the valuation of materials. And we have to concentrate more in the integration areas of SAP material management model with other functional modules like SAP PP, SAP SD, SAP CO, and SAP FI. So these are all the very important activities to be carried out under SAP material management, and that is the reason why we have to learn this SAP material management module and what is the advantages from the company point of view as well as from the consultant's point of view. So we have discussed very clearly about all the important inventory management activities, all the important purchasing activities as well as procurement, and also we have discussed about different pricings, vendor evaluation and valuation of materials, and the integration of SAP MM with other SAP modules. So this SAP MM module plays a very vital role in the industry for handling the complete end-to-end procurement and inventory management functions which is taking place in the day-to-day business operations. And about myself, I am Raja. I am having more than 20 plus years of experience in the SAP industry. I have worked as a consultant, I have worked as a practice head, and also I have worked as a delivery head. And I have done many implementation, production support, rollout and upgrade projects for my clients. And I have more than 5 years of on-site experience handling Middle East and European clients. And regarding my certification areas and interests, I have done my certification in finance. I have done my certification in BPC, that is Business Process Planning and Consolidation. I have done my certification in S4 HANA Simple Finance. I have done my certification in S4 HANA Simple Logistics module. I have completed my certification in SAP S4 HANA Central Finance, and recently I have completed my certification in SAP Business and Revenue Innovation Management, that is SAP Hybris module. So in this video, I think you people are very clear about what is the need for learning this SAP MM module and how the companies are implementing this SAP material management module for their businesses, and what are all the important activities of SAP material management module. We have discussed very clearly about the entire end-to-end procurement activities. We have discussed very clearly about end-to-end SAP material management, inventory management activities, and we have discussed very clearly about valuation of materials. We have discussed about pricing configuration in material management, and also we have discussed about the stock transfer and the transfer posting activities, which is coming under the inventory management. And we have also discussed very clearly about the integration of SAP material management with other SAP modules. So in my next video, we will discuss about how to implement the ASAP methodology for SAP implementation, that is ECC implementation, because in our previous videos, we have discussed very clearly about the ASAP methodology as well as Activate methodology. In our traditional SAP ECC system, we have to use ASAP methodology, that is accelerated SAP methodology for the implementation. But in S4HANA, we have to use this Activate methodology for implementing the different phases. So we will discuss each and everything in detail in the coming videos. So in this video, you people are very clear, I think, regarding this material management module. What are all the reasons for learning this material management module, and what are all the advantages from the company's point of view in implementing this material management module, and all the stuff. Thank you.